right. So what I'm going to do today is just give you examples of electrolysis. I think I have about 3 examples that I'm going to give so that you can have a better understanding. Okay, let's get right to it. So now we have the first example is the electrolysis of sodium chloride solution. The moment they say sodium chloride solution, the word solution means it's dissolved in water. So it means the ions that we have are those of sodium chloride and those of water. So now from sodium chloride, which is NaCl, we have Na plus sodium and then Cl minus. From water, we have OH minus and then H plus. So these are all the ions that are present in the solution. So at the cathode, because the cathode is negative, we're going to have positive ions at the cathode. They're going to be attracted to the cathode, which is Na plus and then H plus. So we have sodium ions and hydrogen ions at the cathode. So now we need to decide which one is produced between the two. Remember, we said the rule says the less reactive one is produced. So between sodium and hydrogen gas is the less reactive one. So it means hydrogen gas is going to be produced. Okay, we go to the anode. At the anode, we are going to have negative ions, which is OH minus, which is a hydroxide ions, and then Cl minus, which is a chloride ion. Remember, we said that in this circumstance at the anode, oxygen gas is produced. But if you do have a halide ion, as you can see that you have a chloride ion, which is a halide ion, then that halide ion is going to be produced. So it means we have chlorine gas being produced. But if it wasn't a halide ion, then oxygen gas will be produced. That's it. We are done with this example. Moving on. Now we have molten lead 2 bromide. Molten. The word molten means it's melted. Okay, so now if it's melted, it means there's no water in it. You just melted the lead 2 bromide. So the ions that are present will be lead and bromide ions. So now at the cathode, the positive ion is going to be produced, which means lead is produced at the cathode. At the anode, the negative one is produced, which means bromine gas is produced. We're done with this example. Moving on to the last example, we do have dilute sulfuric acid. The word dilute means there is water that has diluted the sulfuric acid. So the ions that are present for sulfuric acid is H2SO4. The ions in that it's H plus and sulfate ions. The ions in water is H plus and hydroxide ions. Okay, so at the cathode we have the positive ions, which means the 2 hydrogens. At the anode, we have hydroxide ions and sulfate ions. So at the cathode, it's simple, means hydrogen gas will be produced. At the anode, remember we said oxygen gas is produced. So oxygen gas is going to be produced in this case because sulfate ions are not halide ions. Hence, we have oxygen gas being produced from the what? From the OH minus, which is the hydroxide ions. So that's the end of our video. That's basically it. Those are examples of electrolysis.